Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear TEC Invitational Valorant tournament. We're here starting off finals weekend with a bang with the lower bracket deciding finals first, and it's going to be an amazing hype set of 2 days. I can't wait to get started. But for today, it's going to be me on the desk, joined by Aggressive. And Aggressive, I am so hyped, so excited. How are you feeling?
This is gonna be a match for the books. It's gonna be XTZ going up against Paratroops. And let's talk about this matchup as we go into the map veto screen. And now, see, I need to ask you, these two teams have fought through thick and thin to get up here. And also I see Icebox as map 3, and we're all hoping for that map 3 to come around.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've gone from Icebox barely being seen at all to it being consistently picked as the third map. Gives me the hope that teams are starting to, look at the map a little bit more as, that surprise factor that they can use to try and displace teams if it does end up going all the distance in a best of three series, and also started practicing it a little bit more. Now that we're in the top four like teams of our tournament, I'm expecting very like extremely calculated plays, very on precise, making sure that the teams are deciding where they want to go before they go, rather than that chaotic display we saw from a couple of teams back in the other matches. For now, this map, I see Sai hovering over the Sova and Sky. It's not going to happen though. I expect him to carry over on the jet that he was so prolific on the last time we saw him. It'll be an interesting choice to see. But on the side of Paratroops, I'm expecting that standard composition, the race for Bings, the no flash. It's what they are really good at.
The debate strategies going on all over the place. First it was SE, then it was Sky. Sai coming out with all of the
Whoa.
picks. But this time around, I do believe that there was an accidental pick coming out with the Euro, but we can fix that real soon. But still, let's look at the composition coming out from the side of XTZ as they are opting to go for their usual picks this time around with the Jet, with the Rays, and of course with all of their own picks. And see, moving on forward on the map of mine, I want to ask you: will we be seeing the standard composition come out no matter what coming from these teams?
Um, right now, I'm not sure if this is a bug or if the teams just managed to click in the wrong time, but I'm pretty sure the Euro not allowed. So we'll have to see what does end up coming out. Other than that, you see very standard comps come out from both the teams. Aggressive. You see, for the side of XEZ, Sai on that jet. We really expected that. The last time we saw him, he popped the hell off. So I'm expecting more of that display. And on the other side, Binks on that race. Both of these leaders of the teams, they're going to be the ones to keep your eye on. Now, for me, what I'm even more like excited about is how easy ends up playing out. I do expect him not to play the Euro, rather to play the Omen. And then on the other side, where that Omen goes to is going to be a big question mark, because forever long we've had this issue with XCZ about not having necessarily defined roles. I did feel like they were starting to get more used to their current roles, with Vim coming into the roster and Harsh and Sami jiggling that duelist role while Sai plays that jet. So I'm expecting a lot more finished, refined gameplay from XCZ. So we'll see what comes up today.
Like when I look at the matchups, as you stated before, XTC they have that main issue of trying to juggle Sami onto the duelist and mainly onto the Omen. And this, in the long run, is going to hurt them a lot moving on forward. And this is not a match they can scoff at. This is Paratroops. They have risen up and they've showed exactly what they can do. They've showed so much growth throughout this entire tournament. And we have been amazed at the plays that they were able to make down with this new roster. So XTZ, they're going to have their work cut out for them moving on forward. And if the role juggles are going to be coming on through every single map, it's just going to get even more difficult, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It will end up coming down to which team is able to find the consistency. Now, talking about that, right? I feel like for me, Kuzuri, he was such an important factor to Paratroops' success last time around. And he's one of the newer players we're seeing on Paratroops. We saw him in Challenger Series 5 previously. That was when he first joined the team. But only now we're seeing him step into more of a duelist role. It does feel like it suits him a lot more. We've seen him on the Phoenix, the Reyna even, and he's been able to exhibit this level of individualism where he continuously goes for the individual peaks, finds the flanks, and is able to disrupt the other team's play to a maximum. And that's where really I'm going to look to see if he can do it again, because for Kuzuri, that Phoenix is going to come through. Now, another player to look at on Paratroops is Zaid. I've lauded Zaid's Molly lineup so many times. The placement always to play defensively and deny and delay plants for as long as possible, allowing his team players like Kuzuri to push through on the flank. And this sort of synergistic gameplay has what really pushed Paratroops a step further in 2021. I'm curious to see how XCZ does plan on trying and countering that, because the one thing about Zaid is that the Molly lineups have been consistent. We haven't really seen much change in them.
Another key factor in this composition I would like to point out is the fact of the Phoenix being present. On the map of Bind, I'm a firm believer that you should either go for Arena or you should just be opting for that Jet in a lot of those situations, because Raze is one of those must picks. If you don't pick Raze on Bind, you're automatically making your attacking and defensive have extremely difficult, because of the Raze being present, has the grenades, has the satchels, has the boombot to execute down onto a side, clear out a lot of the sidelines on her own with using her utility. And the fact that we are seeing the Raze actually come out from the side of Paratroops, but on the same time, it is a Phoenix. So the Raze is going to be the solo entry in a lot of those situations where if you had Raze and Jet, they can dash in together. It is a two-man advantage when they're rushing down into a site. Even if one of the duelists die, the other one can go in for immediate refrag as the other team members are funneling in, let's say from the side of Hoka, from the side of Shower, from the side of Short. This is going to be an extremely difficult matchup for the side of Paratroop size. I would say if the utility usage is not on point coming out from them, they're gonna have a pretty rough time on this map.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I think for me, the Reyna definitely preferred over the Phoenix because of the fact that there's so many nice dismiss spots. But at the same time, I understand the idea of the Phoenix Paratroops. They've always been comfortable on attack. So if they need that extra utility on defense to really push them a step further, help them establish that dominance, then I get the idea of that Phoenix being picked, combined with the fact that the running back can be really strong. But for now, it's going to be Paratroops on the attack, XTZ on the defense. See, Paratroops, they're already pushing in. They've left Zayd on the lurk, though. And Zayd, having not got much information, with the TP coming through from his teammates, they're all going onto this B side. It's just Binks left on A, and Binks might just pick up a kill here. Binks versus Sai on the duel. Both of them tagged a decent bit. Sai knows that they're all here, but Sai, lone man standing as the rest of the Paratroops. They've done a bamboozle. They made their way onto A. Sai spots everyone, goes for the call, gets them to come here, and Sai holding it down from the radiant. He's able to pick up one, drop the spike carrier. He bought so much time for his team, and now with all of XC's here, they're gonna push through for the retake just as spike gets planted.
Zayd's turret though, what is this turret up to with Binks from the side that's getting a headshot out on the turret? The bodies are gonna be dropping on down, but Sai, he has his own vengeance. He's even in the backfield as much as he can, but Zayd, ever so consistent. You gotta be able to take a Rexy, but Sai gets his third kill, but Zayd gets his third kill, Zayd gets his fourth! Zayd is an absolute madman when it comes to his killjoy. He's gonna be able to destroy everyone from the side of XCZ and take round number one for the favorite their side.
Me or what? I mean, one of the main reasons I personally prefer to play the Killjoy over the Cypher is the raw power it brings, right? Especially in pistol rounds, that turret's HP, it gets so difficult to take down with just pistols. If you're able to put it at a decent range, the way Zayd is able to put it now at a vertical angle where it's able to cover a multitude of sightlines, it does so much damage. Gets one kill here, but the most important display it shows is towards the end of the round where he's in that 1v2 where he's fighting for the round, the turret causing so much damage and giving him so much information, allowing him to get his crosshair on point, pick up that 4k, secure that first round for Paratroops. I'm seeing a small disconnection, but I think for me, aggressive, instantly we have talking points about how these compositions differ. Is that Phoenix versus the Jet, which we already touched upon. Like the Jet bringing the aggressive, fast gameplay as compared to the Phoenix who brings the extra utility. You mentioned you want to see proper usage of that utility. But going to that Killjoy versus Cypher debate, I think on Bind especially, one of the key maps where both of them have very strong factors in their favor and really does come down to your team's execution as well as your personal preference. I can see that Zayd, he 100% prefers the Killjoy, and it's because Paratroops, they like to play very aggressively on the attack and play very defensively on the defense. And Killjoy, she offers you a little bit more flexibility.
Completely agree with you on that. And you can see from the lineups coming out from both squads, one is very execution heavy, using all of the utility being the side of Paratroops, while the other coming out from the side of XTZ is much more gunfight focused. You can see from XTZ that all of their agents allow for a lot of gunfights to be had, while in comparison for the side of Paratroops, they want to use their utility to flush out as much utility coming out from the enemies while they take the gunfight secondary and making their utility use the primary aspect of their gameplay. And you can really see that in a lot of these cases, Zayd using the third so well in that round, as he stated before. The Killjoy allows you to take advantageous gunfights instead of relying on your raw aim. You are making sure that you have all the potential to win out in a lot of these fights.
Yeah, now for Paratroops. The buy coming through is going to be Binks and Edit starting us off a kill each. And while Wimp is able to trade through, Sai, he's got his ult ready already in the second round with a lot of kills picked up in the first. Now you can see he missed all of his shots though. So Sai not going to be able to do much. Instead, just an easy round coming through for Paratroops. That was a really quick execution.
That was a really fast execute, but of course it was an eco round coming out from the side of XTZ, so not much that they can do. And Sami, he's making a run for it. He's making a wraparound turn to see if he can get a one more random kill to work with. But he needs to die real soon because he needs to see what he can find. Opting to go in to see if he can find himself a kill or find himself a trade at the bare minimum. He's playing it smart! Sami, he could be causing them to die to the spike, but not really gonna be able to survive for that long. As Paratroops, they're gonna be able to survive with their guns in hand, taking us to round number 3.
A really nice round for Paratroops. They only drop one gun, and for them, that one gun will end up being a upgrade basically, where they will be able to get that Phantom through. For the side of XTZ though, Sai, I think he was very proactive with his all point collection in round 1 and 2, able to get that Blade Storm just in round 2. If he was able to get that one headshot over at a shot with that Blade Storm, he could have flipped the way the entire round went. But just in general, having that ultimate even, pretty good for the side of XTZ. We'll see how much more ultimate cooldown they're able to recycle because it's really important. Now, by round for XTZ, it's Paratroop pushing in aggressively. They've elected to go onto the B side. So far, they've got even trades all around, 2 for 2, and even trades are amazing for Paratroops because they only had Spectres in their hands. They're taking down the Phantoms and Vandals in return for losing the Spectres. Now able to pick up the guns for themselves. It's Paratroops taking the TP, going for the rotation onto A, but with the trap fires ready for Wimp, they're just going to walk into XTZ's hands. Paratroops, they're going to pick up that ult point, lockdown ready for Zaid, and this is a really interesting push. They have over 50 seconds left, so they could easily use that lockdown to bait and switch, or take down the trap fires and force an A site entirely. All the options in Paratroops' hands. The only thing going against them are the health bars.
Now, moving down from the side of A short, we're seeing them making a slow execution. And coming out from the side of XCC, they know what's up. They're spreading themselves out near the side of CT, so they don't really move off.
Placing 30 seconds left.
Angle that they cannot have an advantage on. But with the trap wires being present, they know exactly where they're going to be going at. With the spike going down at A, the retake situation is going to be moving on forward. It's going to be Hirsch with the paint shells to see if he can do a little bit of damage. But see if no chip damage can be found just yet. Hirsch nearly walks into the shock darts coming out. Shockdown's coming out from the side of Edit. He's gonna be going to take the peak, but the Coffin dance is about to start, but Whip's gonna be present to back up his teammate immediately. Gets the double kill, clean up, and the defuse to boot. And ladies and gentlemen, that was a really close round. I expected Zayd to pop the lockdown in that situation, but he opted to not do that.
In that situation, I would have liked to see Zayd use the lockdown just before he go for the plant, because that works out in two ways, right? Not only do you get that extra time from the lockdown to get the plant and get your perfect post-plant positions, but you also get that extra ult point by planting the spike right after you go for that lockdown. Zayd, he elects to save it rather to just stack up in that lamps area and go for the double stack in that post-plant positions. And while it works out to get the kill on Harsh, the fact that Wimp is right there to back him up means that they're able to pick up a kill. And that's a really interesting point, because normally you would expect on the retake Harsh and Wimp to split up, but they go together. I feel like because they would have had to have the information that one member of Paratroops already low, so they elect to go for the double peaks, keeping each other's backs, and that works out in the long term. They're able to pick up the round. Now for XTZ Esports, that was the buy round. They did win it, which was really good, but they lost a couple of members along the way. So going into the next round, while Zayd will only be able to pick up the Spectre, the rest of the team with the full buys for Paratroops. For XTZ, is going to be a couple of light shields coming through. So their economy is still hurting a little bit, but if they can win this, it will go a long way to stabilizing.
The economy being stable is going to be really important for their side, but at the same time, I am giving a little bit of an advantage towards the side of XTZ, because Paratroops, they, like, as I stated before, their composition is very utility based. So if they make one mistake in the way they use their utility, they're not going to be able to break down into a site. Any sort of wasted utility coming out from them is going to put a lot more pressure in their gunfight capabilities, and when you're on the side of attack, you not having a way to close the gap to catch your enemies by surprise, because the flashes coming out from the Phoenix, yes, they are powerful, but on the map of Bind, how much will it help? Because you are the person who needs to push in with your flash, because your teammates cannot capitalize on that flash as easily. And on Bind, there are so many corners to hide around. You can just hide around one box and then peek out as soon as you hear the flash, knowing that the Phoenix is going to be pushing on through. And if the Phoenix does not get the proper read, you're gonna the Zuri is gonna have a hard time. He's gonna instantly die, get traded out, and even more trades are gonna be coming out with the rotations coming out from the side of XTZ. So I would say Paratroops are under a lot of pressure when it comes to their composition, but I do believe that on their defensive rounds, they should be winning out a lot more because they have the much more utility-based composition. They can stall out for time. And see, I'm gonna throw you this question. Do you believe that Paratroops, they need to get as many rounds on the board on their attacking half as possible? Because I do believe their defensive half is gonna be a way stronger than their attacking half.
For sure. I mean, considering the fact that Paratroops, they just have that Phoenix ready, right? So on the defensive half, they have so many options. You can use that Phoenix utility in the hot hands and the firewall to play very defensively. We know how Zayd itself functions as a killjoy in defense, able to just use his utility so well to really delay the plants as much as possible. But this is more like a dual face road, where for the side of XCZ, it gets that teensy bit harder on attack because you don't really have a perfect flash to be able to pull through. You can't really rely on the opping efficiency of a player like Sai, so you have to pull through on defense as much as possible. Use that operator to try and get as many wins, but to get that operator, you need a couple of back-to-back rounds to stabilize your economy, be able to afford that 5,000 credit weapon. So we're gonna look to this round, see it pull it back, because for Zayd, that lockdown save means this time they're gonna go for a B-side push. Now this lockdown not necessarily perfect, it does not cover all of CT, but enough to get a quick side push through and able to get the plant down. Now this plant very much for the hookah angle where Binks is playing, so it's gonna be down to Binks and Kuzuri, who you can see on the rotate. The rest of the players playing very defensively from long. The post plants in place is going to be Paratroops holding down. XCZ trying to push in. All they have is the Cypher ultimate. So they need to get a kill to start them off. Take off that hat and get the information. And one, they'll give you two. Make that three. It's a triple for XCZ, but Bink's able to answer back. Bink's trying to hold on. Maintain his hookup positioning, trying to delay the time, but Bink's last man standing. Only his showstopper left. Gonna pull it out. Gonna take two down.
Oh my god!
Taken down by Hush. He bought enough time. That Binks for the clutch. Wow.
Oh my god, Biggs! You can see the look on Zayd. What this composition is all about. When you have so much utility to work with, there is no way the spike was about to get diffused. Biggs throwing utility after utility, nade after nade, satchel after satchel, and then pulling out the showstopper in that situation. Just goes to showcase how strong this composition is in the right hands. You just need to get that spike plant down. You have the shock available, you have the paint shells available, you have the mollies available, you have everything in your arsenal to stop the spike from getting diffused or the spike from getting planted if you know exactly where the position is gonna be at. And the side of Paratroops, they use that expertly, and on this round it's gonna be Biggs running on in with the satchels in hand, gets one kill on the earth, but Rex the answers back with editing the immediate trade. The spike is about to go down into a 4 versus 3 retake scenario.
Man, I'm still reeling from that round. That double kill from the showstopper, literally bringing the party was Binks. Clutching that round was so huge because it hurts XTZ's economy so much. This round, an eco round for them. Now Paratroops, they rushed into A side, they got the plant, and now XTZ, they're trying to get a ninja defuse through, and Harsh almost able to do it, was denied. The diffuser taken down. That's another round for Paratroops. And right off the bat, they look so damn strong on this map. We know how good the Raze is on Bind. And Binks on the Raze, we know that it's his signature pick. It's what we've seen all the way from the very start, the very first time this team debuted, came first in the Challenger Series all the way to now. The way it has changed, there's been a lot of new players coming in, old players going out, but the one constant that has remained is Binks. That Raze for that player, just absolutely fantastic, and you can see exactly why. Now 4-1 on the attacking side, no less. For Paratroops, they're heavily in control of this map. So now it's going to be up to XTZ to make some proactive moves, try to pull it back, and Hush trying to do just that. He's pushed up a shot, uses ultimate, and while he didn't really get any damage, this is the sort of usage I really like because it gave him a lot of information about the positioning of the side of Paratroops. They know they're not at A, and therefore you can see the rotations come through. Paratroops going for that B, but now with the TP, they'll come back to A.
This TP though could just be a fake in this situation, but it seems as though it's not. And Hershey has such an aggressive position of his own, but he needs to be really careful. This position is a very one-off angle, especially when you are playing that race. He doesn't get a kill, it's gonna be hurtful for him. It's gonna be Rexy getting flashed out. It's gonna be Kazuri with a run-in making the first kill. Gets a second kill for himself as well. And it was a beautiful, disgusting headshot down on the side as that smokes come through from the side of Ezzy. The damage has already been done, ladies and gentlemen. And Paratroops, they're cleaning up the house, but when he has his own vengeance, gets a first shot with the Bulldog onto Kazuri, but it's gonna be Zayd coming in from the sidelines to get the reflag for his teammate. And ladies and gentlemen, Paratroops, they're establishing a dominant lead on a 1-5 scoreline.
Man, like the way they're playing, right? Paratroops, they're so clean with their execution. They take the teleporter to A, but they know, like they basically know that they have to give the respect to a team like XTZ to be able to have the discipline to hold on to A. Therefore, when they push for that A, they check all their angles. They make the necessary flashes. Even in the running back, Kazuri flashing that right angle so that he's able to get the kill and push through. Normally, you'd see players just pushing through without the flash, not willing to give up that utility, but giving up one flash gets him access to the entire site, allowing him to get multiple kills on the back end and help his team force through all the way, get that round in their favor. Another eco for the side of XCZ, meaning Paratroops well on their way to establish a really sound lead. But Harshi's trying to hold it down, deny that lockdown, allow Sami to push in, but Sami gets taken down, and it's a 1-1. Now, Rexy with the Hunter's Fury trying to deny the plant. Will not be able to get the tag though, but does buy some time. The plant denied, but Bink's able to use that time to get a kill, and now the plant will come through. It's going to be XTZ on the retake with the man down.
XTZ, they're not really in a good spot, especially with Edit getting that kill down on the side. And Harsh being only at like 1 HP to work with does a little bit of damage, and here's where it's just wanting to see if they can get one kill at the bare minimum and survive. No health to work with. It's gonna be Big taking out his twin brother, and Ezzy squaring up against Rexy on the sideline. Who's gonna be coming out on top? It's gonna be Zayd coming out from the side of B to take it all away, and 5 rounds ahead. It's gonna be the side of Paratroops. They're looking so dominant, and CA, on that last round, I want to add one more thing coming out when they were going in for that wraparound play. You saw that Hirsch, he used the showstopper to try and establish map control, yes, but what will happen after you establish this map control? You will normally send one of your players that would be holding on A down onto the B side, and I love the fact that Paratroops, they were able to read that, being like, hey guys, he used a showstopper and he's not anywhere near B, so he has to be pushed up through from the side of A short. This would mean an instant rotation call would come out from the side of XTZ to be like, hey guys, there's no one on A, you should be stacking up on the B side, and they were able to read this and do an immediate rotation straight from the side of TP and a fast execution down onto it, allowing them to take that advantageous fight and reading the entirety of XTZ like a book. That round, and now this round itself, just goes to showcase what kind of a game plan Paratroops have moving into this matchup.
Yeah, just beautiful shot calling in the moment by the side of Paratroops. Like from like very tiny moves, like the way they plant it in, say, that clutch round for Binks a couple of round backs. Rarely do we see a hookup plant. Normally, when you see that Killjoy ult go down, we get to see a long plant, but they call for the hookup plant knowing that Binks is very close to his showstopper, has his grenade ready as well. So it'll be much easier for him to hold it down from that angle. That sort of proactivity in terms of shot calling and communication for the entire team, so important to be able to beat in this stage, because we are down to just 4 teams in the tournament. All of these teams, they are the best of the best. So it really comes down to those mind games, to the idea that, hey, I know what you're going to do, and I'm going to play on the basis of what you think I'm going to do, rather than push through and just try to play my signature way. They having that extra bit of control takes you one large step further. Right now, it's given Paratroops a 5-round lead aggressive. But let's just look back for a sec, because I see that operator come out on side, and I wonder Is this the comeback for XTZ?
This could be the comeback, but Operator at this point is so late, and he does get tagged out a little bit by the nades coming out. And so much utility is being used. Nice, he's still able to get one kill before he does go down in this situation. It's gonna be Biggs being able to answer onto him. And with the damage still being done, it's gonna be Biggs with the satchel jumping on in, but Sami, he's able to get 2 kills of his own. The damage is to be done. He switches out his gun because he doesn't really have a lot of ammo to work with. It's gonna be Zayd and Edit versus the entire world. Who's gonna be coming out on top? This is gonna be Edit. It's gonna be Edit and Zayd. They deal the damage, and it's gonna be a 1 versus 1 situation of Rexy versus Edit. The Soma versus Soma. Who's gonna be coming out on top? And it's gonna be Rexy with the headshot and the body shot to boot. And ladies and gentlemen, that fight was slowly going to the favor of the side of the attackers, but at the very end, it was Rexy to clutch out that round.
See, that was so close. Like, when he missed that recon ball, I thought it was done. Because you reveal your position, you don't get any information on the other player. But let's talk more from this instant replay. The position here for Zayd and Ed is so bad, but they're able to get a kill each. Leave Rexy sandwiched between either of them. He's able to pick up the trade on Zayd though. But here with just 8 bullets left, he has to be on point with his aim. And he was. As soon as he got that one drink at first aggressive, I'm like, oh no, is this another Phantom sob story where like I get a headshot but I don't win the duel? But it doesn't turn out that way. He's able to finish it off, secure that round, and allow XTZ to once again go for the op. The first blood picked up by Sai again. That opping might just be with the help of a clutch from Rexy, the chance for XTZ to pull it back before it's too late gone in this round. Now Paratroops, they're going for this heavy B-side execute. They're using the mollies, the utility as you mentioned earlier, to clear out the angles, but they haven't been able to take much control just yet. They are pushing the side, but they are going to be denied by the Hunter's Fury as well as the grenades. Is he able to get the plant through though? But he's stuck in the middle. He needs to get something done. He's gonna get one kill, and Zayd on the backup able to get another. Suddenly it's Paratroops flipping the script. Paratroops lead.
Paratroops, the way that they're playing a lot of these maps, they're taking all of the advantages, and Andy deep inside of the site is able to do so much damage of his own before he finally gets taken down by his twin brother Sami. Able to make the difference in this situation, but down in this 2 versus 2 situation, especially with Big still, especially with Edit still alive, down on the side of B-Long. There's not really anything that they can do. The crossfire setup is just too strong. Even if Edit died, Zayd was there to deny the plan, because this was, of course, a hookah plan coming out. A hookah and a long plan for both sides, because whenever you plant the spike down on the left-hand side, the hookah angle can contest the spike angle if the B-long side is still under hold. And if you try to contest the B-long sight line, you're gonna get contested by the person in hookah. So that crossfire was beautifully set up, and Edit ever so clean with his aim, able to get those 2 kills off and take that round off the board, taking us to a 7-2 scoreline.
And the wall banging spots too, like it clearly shows that they put in a lot of thought and practice into their setups. The idea of how to plant for a certain spot and play around it, entrenched into the playstyle of Paratroops. Once again, they're gonna go for this B-side hush with the Sheriff. He's waiting, not able to land a shot though. Instead, Binks and Kazuri, they pick up one each now. Eco round for the side of XTZ. It's Sai on the TP, trying to get something done, but he has a tiny corner revealed, and he's a guy with the shorty facing up against the Vandal. The shorty not even enough to take down the turret. Sai just forced into this weird situation. He's left in a corner, and Wims on the other. It's an easy round coming through for Paratroops.
This is what's gonna be hurting them a lot, and Sai, he's just chilling with the shorty, but he's not looking behind him. It's gonna be Edit coming in as the boogeyman from the behind. He's hunting down Sai. He's slowly making his way forward. Who's gonna be the killer? Will it be the turret? Or Sai? He's just gonna sacrifice himself to the spike. He's gonna try and go for a gun, but he's not gonna be able to, as they takes him out. And it's gonna be a 2-8 scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. Because side of Paratroops, they're establishing such a dominant lead. Now 6 rounds on the board, especially on the side that I would say is weaker for them. This is absolutely incredible, CA.
There.
I mean, I'm just thinking now, considering both of these teams' playstyle, right? Like, we know that Paratroops theoretically definitely bind a defense-sided map. You expect, especially considering that XTZ don't have that flash, You expect the defense to be the better side for both of the teams, but both of these teams, they are teams that favor the attacking side. They are teams that favor the chaos, really, you know? The idea of being proactive. So I wonder, can XTZ pull it back and attack? But to even do that, they need to pull it back. Now, Wimp not able to get the shots off, but doesn't matter because the running back timer does end. So Kazuri pushed back, but they are able to use that time to get the plants through. Now all the ultimates ready for XTC. This is the round they need to pull back strong, but the lockdown ready as well. It's going to be the lockdown created for the Hunter's Fury. The lockdown destroyed. The third one not able to get attacked just yet now. The showstopper for Harsh, not able to find the damage. He really needed that damage right here. And without the damage, Kazuri and Zane pushing through together. A flawless round.
They grinded them up, a real fight. Because you can see the bodies just dropping. People push from showers, people push from heaven, people push from the side of lamps. Every single angle was covered. And the post plants are just so incredible coming out from the side of Paratroops. The way they're able to get their defensive holds down. You can see from every single angle, one person was playing behind HUD in the cubby, one was playing inside of the short angle, and as soon as the flash came through from the side of Kazuri, immediately everyone peeked. Coming out from the side of shower, coming out from the side of short, all peaked together, and they were able to take those fights. They were able to take those engagements, and especially with the spike going down so early in a lot of these rounds, it's gonna cause XTC to panic. It's gonna be like, guys, go, go, go. We need to try and get as much control as possible. And this is where the utility is coming into play. The attack is just so potent because of the utility usage coming out from the side of Paratroops, where on the side of XTC, they're relying purely on their gunfight capabilities instead of their utility.
Now, for Paratroops, you see the ultimate coming out for easy, denied by XTZ, but that does give the information that, hey, the rotate is coming through for XTZ. I wonder if Paratroops now choose to use that information to make the wraparound to B, but with Rexy taking one down, they know they have to commit on to A, and XTZ, they're going to use that to their advantage. Sai with the Blaze Storm, Wimp with his hat, all the ultimates going in favor for XTZ, but Binks is not done just yet. He's going to find one. Looking for another. It's Binks and Zaid against 4 members from XTZ. Left. Binks is gonna get revealed by the spy cam dart. And now with just 20 seconds left, they can't rotate. They can't really go anywhere. They are revealed. Their positions known. They just have to win the gunfights. But that's not gonna happen. The last round secured for XTZ Esports. Some hope kept alive for a possible comeback. But the first half so far, it has been a dominant run for Paratroops. So if XTZ are gonna pull off a comeback, they need to keep the momentum from this last round, start off really strong in the pistol, gain some breathing room, reduce the lead, and then try to pull off the first part.
They need to win this pistol round, CA, because this pistol round is going to dictate the pace of the entire matchup moving on forward. Because if they win this pistol coming out from the side of Paratroops, they're gonna get double digits on the board, and that double digit basically means that you get the 11th round as well, unless you're enemy team 4 spies, or if they pull off a miracle.
Out of charges.
I'm really looking to see that XTZ they pull off a different strategy when it comes to their pistol round on their attacking half, because I do not believe that the normal execution strategy that we normally know, sending the raid, sending the jet to rush in together and go for those gunfights, is going to be working out in their favor on this matchup.
Now, XTC, they left Wimp on the lurk to try and pick some information about a possible aggressive push on B long, but he does not get any, and now he's going to group up with this team to go for this fast A-side execute. Now, look at this. The shovers push already through, but the short push not happened yet. It's not entirely coordinated, and that's where Paratroop's going to look to take them out. It's easy with the first kill, taking down Rexy, and now easy with 2 more, able to secure his triple. Binks with the grenade, and that's where Paratroops, they just completely remove any scope of push for XTZ. Zaid with that pistol. I mean, would you say after this, would you know even that the classic has been nerfed? Because Zaid's just like, nah, I don't care about no nerfs. I'm still gonna show you exactly how powerful that weapon is.
Classics are just so good still in the right hands. When you have crispy aim like Zaid and Ursh, you can use the classics to your fullest capabilities, and they're showcasing this. But CA, remember what I stated before, that pistol round was going to dictate the movement of the entire map? It seems as though in this situation, XTZ have dropped the ball, and coming back from that pistol round loss is going to be extremely difficult, especially for the fact that they're going to be going in for the save round. They're fighting on the 11th round. So at that point, you cannot make any mistakes. But looking at the scoreboards as well, we see Bings leading the charge on 17 kills, Zayd following down on 15, and Edit on 10. They're doing really well when it comes to staying alive and working as a team. And now that their utility is present on their defensive rounds, I do believe that XTZ, they're going to have a real hard time moving on forward.
5v5 on the map. I think for XCZ, they did choose to go for the eco. So this round, for Paratroops, it's just trying to push that lead even more further. It's the Killjoy holding down a B, as with the Sova getting so much information, the turret and the recons giving a lot of information and doing damage at the same time. Now for Edit, he has the shock darts ready. He's gonna try and delay for as long as possible. But Drexy, he's just gonna get the plant through. Binks now taking the TP, using his boombot as the entry to get his way through. Binks, he's gonna push through, be able to use his grenade to flush out that mid tube angle and push Rexy into his hands. Binks with that perfect utility usage pushes chaos into the minds of XTZ and allow his teammates to take perfect advantage of it. Sai is nowhere nearby, and easy defuse for Paratroops.
I will say this was a good eco round coming out from the side of XTZ, but at the same time, you're dropping a lot of rounds. You're now on a 3-11 scoreline, and winning out those eco rounds would be extremely important as well. But the hold and the utility usage, once again, I need to highlight this over and over again. Paratroop, the way that they're using their utility is giving them all of these advantages that they have in a lot of their gunfights. They're not going for purely gunfights anymore, and this change from the side of Paratroops is really refreshing to see, because normally when we think of Paratroops, they were that team that always loved to take very aggressive duels. They pushed on their defensive routes. They love to go in the enemy's faces. But this time around, with the no jet composition coming out from them, they're playing it slow, they're playing it steady, and they're playing... Like, remember CA when we talked about that the jet nerfs came through? That you would want to see something a little bit more different, something more utility focused in a lot of the other matchups that we had. This is what Paratroops is doing, and we are seeing this come out in absolute fruition.
Exactly, right? Like, we've been asking for this for a while, but the biggest contention was how strong Jet was. So with those nerfs, you expect teams to start picking up this sort of playstyle. Just play more to flush out angles, play more to use the practice you put in the custom games, in the pre-match preparation, to then push through those angles, take advantage of pockets of control across the side, and use that to translate into rounds. Now the buy round for XTZ not going so well. It's Paratroops with the first kills, but Harshan, Sami, they're able to trade it back. So now you can see XTZ, they're gonna try to get that A-Plon through. Now Kuzuri, he's on the flank, he took the TP, and this position could be huge if done in coordination with this team. You can see XTZ, they're going to push in to the lamps area as well as the short and wait. The rest of Paratroops, so they're on the other side, they're into the site now. The alarm bot being used to get information of the lamps, and perfect usage of the alarm bot in combination with the shock dart. It's Zayd with a couple kills, but Rexy now playing for the post plant. He's able to get one kill. Not enough time to stop Kuzuri. But Kuzuri stopped his defuse. He's going for the peaks, and that peak will be the reason Kuzuri gets match point. What a round by Paratroops. The alarm bot first to get the information in the lamps, the shock dart second to get that opening kill, but then Kuzuri holding through the half defuse, then going for the peak, knowing that Rexy really has no choice but to walk into his hands. That's called calm and collected under pressure. Paratroops with match point in a dominant map 1.
My god, that was absolutely incredible coming out from the side of Paratroops. First, the initial shock dart kill coming out from the side of Edit, and then Reed coming out from Kazuri being like, hey, he's probably running on it from somewhere. He used that Hunter's Fury. He has to be somewhere close. He's gonna be panicking because he used 2 Hunter's Furies down near the side of Nuts. He has nothing to try and stop me from going in for this half defuse. He got that half defuse, went in for the swing down on Rexy to take him out, and these rounds are going so well in favor of Paratroops because of the utility usage and Big. He played it a bit too aggressively in this situation. He could have just bit the bullet to Sami, but Sami's not going to be able to find him just yet. He needs to go and start backing off. But a lot of information has been gained from the side of the defense that there is no one just yet down near the side of A, and they're playing it slow and they're playing it steady. Paratroops, they're not really giving any sort of information, and they're opting to play for the retake in this situation because of the showstopper being available. Oh, sorry, because of the utility that they have in their favor. They're opting to play for the utility in their side, but still, you have to remember that Hirsch, he has the showstopper, so this retake is going to be extremely difficult.
Now, it feels like we're in a deja vu flip situation of sorts. The last time we saw that showstopper ready, it was Binks in the hand of him. And now XTZ in that position. They're able to get the opening 2 kills. But once again, Edit and Zayd, they answered back. Easy with another, meaning 2v2 on the map. Now, Easy and Zayd, they're both really low. And Rexy and Grim, they're just waiting in the shadows for something to come through. The turret to bait it out. It's Easy using that bait to get the first kill. Now, Zayd with another fake, trying to pull Grim out. But Grim, he knows. But Easy waiting at the cross. Picks up the kill. That's the round. Will go through for Paratroops. 13-3. What a dominant win. And man aggressive. I mean, I don't think I have been as impressed by the setups for a very long time by a particular team. Paratroops, they come out 2021 with a bang. Like, even in this particular round, right? Using that turret to bait it out while your teammate pushes forward, waits at the edge of the smoke. Then you go for the fake and allow Easy to pick up another kill. On point from Paratroops.
I have never seen this level of utility usage coming out from any teams. As you stated before, the way they use this round just goes to showcase what kind of a skill cap game Valorant is. It's not about the gunfights, it is about your utility usage. And Paratroop showing us that. And XTZ, they're going to be shaken up by this because now their usual strategies for taking a lot of these gunfight tools is not going to be working out. With Paratroops now shaking up the meta with the utility meta coming out from them. And now moving on forward, this is going to be one hectic of a match, but we have a lot more to talk about here.
Oh yeah, that was, even though the match was really dominant, we had plenty of stuff to break down, really talk about what went wrong for XCZ and what went right for Paratroops. So we'll do that with the LG Ultragear match highlights. Take a look at the portions of the map that really caught our attention. Now, for me, aggressive, it really did become those setups. Like from the very first, like the hookah setup we got to see for Binks, where he's able to clutch through, to the very end, playing for that long angle, but playing on the retake, not something you expect a lot, especially when you have the killjoy in your hand. But they do it with the confidence that they have the synergy and the communication to push through onto his side, get the necessary advantages, and win the entire round. Now, for XTZ Esports, as you said, I saw way too much reliance on gunfights because for me, the issue when you rely on gunfights becomes, what do you do when the other team is just as good at the game as you? You suddenly lose your trump card, your biggest advantage, and you're at a position where you are only faced with disadvantages. So I want to see teams more starting to rely more on the team play and the utility aspect of the game, because that really is what differs Valorant from any other FPS. The ability to find these certain advantages using the synergetic abilities in your team and try to push through. We'll see if XTZ is able to come back in map 2 because Paratroops are on fire, man.
I am afraid to see what they bring out of the following map, CA. I do believe the second map is going to be Haven, a map where a lot more of the utility basis is going to be coming on through. I don't know what to expect coming out from Paratroops. Like, I'm speechless at this point. What do I analyze anymore?
I mean, it's as you said, right? Like, I think it just, what we wanted to see came through exactly in the way we expected it to see. Like, I didn't really expect for Paratroops, especially given the fact that they have 2 new members in Easy and Zayd, to be able to pull through with this amount of synergy. But they have. So props to them, and we'll see if they're able to pull it off in map 2, because on Haven, as you said, those utilities, those abilities, those pockets of control are going to be so much more important. So now we'll see if Paratroops continue the dominant run. Is XCZ able to just pull through, fight back with their backs against the wall? For now, though, we'll give the players a moment to breathe, take one ourselves, and give you a chance to look at the links in the description below for some amazing discounts ready. Make sure you also like the stream, show your support to all these lovely teams out there, giving it your best, providing you with the entertainment as well as to us. Now hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with you really soon with map 2 of the LG Ultragear TEC Valorant Invitational Tournament. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the LG Ultra Gear TEC Invitational Tournament. We're here for map 2 between Paratroops and XTZ, and damn, map 1 was a quick blast. Paratroops were dominant, winning it 13 to 3. So now going into map 2, let's take a quick look at the veto screen, see what we have got in store for us now. Aggressive, we're gonna go into Haven. So I'm expecting Paratroops to just walk in with the same composition. Maybe Zayd switches on to the Cypher, but knowing Zayd, he does feel much more comfortable with the Killjoy, and the lockdown really facilitates a lot of Paratroops play. So, what do you see changing for XCZ? Because we need to see something.
Now, the main thing I really want to see coming out from them is Hirsch actually going on to the Reina, as of
Oh.
course that was expected. And now the picks coming out, as you stated before, is going to be similar for the side of Paratroops. They're Pinks, of course, opting to go in for the same usual race pick because he always plays race, even no matter what match he plays or what map he goes to, he's going to be playing on that race. And now, coming out when it comes to the side of XTZ, now that they have this Reina in their arsenal, yes, it is really strong and really useful, but you have to remember the Reina Flash facilitates your teammates to go in for the push, not for yourself. While on the side of Phoenix, Phoenix can play a lot more of the solo play style and then just rush in through from the side of Garage or solo hold us down a sideline because of the utility he has. And this, once again, is facilitating the fact of what we talked about in the very first game. It's a game of utility versus a game of gunfights.
Yeah, it really is, right? Because for both of the teams, it's coming down to now just using what they know works best to try and pull through. But we have to remember that for Paratroops, what they know works best really has worked so well for them so far. So XCZ, they need to switch something up. And Harsh on the Reina, I'm gonna keep my eyes on him because I do feel like Harsh wasn't at the same like insane Harsh level that we expect him to be. And I'm hoping that the Reina will be the cue for him to really switch on beast mode and just go feast mode on all of Paratroops. So we'll have to see now. XCZ Esports, they're going to start on the defense. Paratroops on the attack. This first half is going to mean so much aggressive because we know how comfortable Paratroops are in the attack and we know which side we favor on Haven. So XCZ, they're going to have to pull out all stops, make sure they reign strong, get that small eco boost, and get Psy on that operator ASAP.
Haven and Ops are a love story made to become true, and especially when Sai's on that operator, he's going to be able to hold down sidelines on his own. And we have seen this coming out from a lot of the side of XEZ as well, that Sai solo holds down onto one of the sidelines, but at the same time, I would say, as you know for a fact, that Paratroops are opting for a much more utility-based meta. I would like Sai to stay with one of his teammates, ideally being Hirsch in a lot of these situations, because we had seen this from teams or the likes of Reckoning as well, where Reckoning they always opt to send Ayan and Razor down to a lot of the sidelines together, and this sort of combination allows them to be so potent. For example, if Ayan ever misses an operator shot, or let's say even if he does get an operator kill, he rarely will ever opt in for a dash out because Razor is always present for him. Razor is always present to back him up in a lot of the situations, going for a secondary kill and then snowball the fight, moving on from there. And I'm really hoping that XCZ they also do the same because they're a much more gunfight favorite team. And when they want to take a lot of these gunfights, they need to stack up together. They need to go in for the refrags, go in for the double peak, go in for the triple peaks, allowing them to take these advantageous duels against the utility focused team being Paratroops.
Yeah, I mean, it really does come down to, as you said, right? Like the small nifty moves that you make, like the way Reckoning do it with Ayan and Razor. XCZ, they need to try and find that same level of not even team synergy, but like duo synergy within the team try and find those moments of control within your team in particular sites and hold strong on the defense. Now, remember, guys, hit that like button, show your support, and spam in the chat which team you think is going to pull it through. It's hashtag believe in Paratroops if you think it's going to be a 2-0, and hashtag beyond extreme if you think we're going to go on to that third map of Icebox. Now, the winner of this series will be going on to the second lower bracket finals, facing the loser of Godlike versus GE. So I'm looking forward to just each team pushing their way further. Winning this guarantees you that third position, and then looking forward to that guarantees that grand finals. In finals weekend, it's everything on the line, and now it's gonna be Paratroops starting us off in the attacking side. The seaside utility all removed by Binks, baiting out Wimp here. Wimp is trying to hold down Garage and C at the same time, but this alarm bot down doesn't really have much information on that. C has to call for the rotation, and they are going to come out. This is facilitated by an aggressive push on the other side by Rexy holding down A long. A lot of information gained for the side of XTZ from Rexy, and using that information, they've held down C side, which is exactly where all the Paratroops is going. This could be disaster for Paratroops. He's not able to get the opening frag. It's going to be all down to Binks, and he's able to do a lot of damage, push them back. Binks with the entry, leading the charge for Paratroops on that scene.
You're out. Suri with a massive flank down here from the side of B. He held the angle for so long, but Hirsch, he's going to be able to get that one initial headshot, and now with 150 HP to work with, he's going to be the raid boss for the entire team, and he needs to lead this charge with Sai being tagged down to only 20 HP, I believe. He's on the red zone, and the turret does spot him out. No for back, and one member is down here from the side of Garage, and no speed long control has been established. Everyone from the side of Paratroops, they're in position to go in for a lot of the plays, and even with this smoke, it's going to be detrimental. The paranoia does go through, and with the jet smoke being now only 4.5 seconds, there's not really a lot of time to work with, especially with them having no smokes. They cannot go in for a lot of the open plays that they usually do. It's going to be Binks coming in from the sideline, getting killed off his own. Hirsch doing the damage, but the hop defuse cannot go through, and Edit and Binks, they hold down the 4, they hold down the sight lines. And CA, you can feel the jet nerves coming in that situation, because that smoke didn't even last a single second.
They might be able to pull the round through, but the Paratroops, they're just very calm. They're like, hey, we have a long plant. We just have to survive long enough so that we can keep shooting, keep delaying. They're like, Hush, you can kill a couple of us, but the rest remain strong. They just peak slowly and slowly. Binks and Edit able to stretch out the round, pull off the win, and secure that pistol for Paratroops. Paratroops starting us off exactly where they left us in a dominant fashion. It's Binks with the entry and Kuzuri with the flank. This time it's going to be Kuzuri with the entry. All 5 members of Paratroops funneling onto the A side. Rexy flashed and taken down. This is a quick anti-kill for Paratroops.
Ever so pristine. It's gonna be Hirsch with the sheriff to see if he can do a little bit of damage, maybe find a kill of the zone, but he may just find him a bit more than he can chew with Binks in the white swing. He knows exactly where Hirsch is gonna be holding and just stinks his head into the next dimension. And ladies and gentlemen, Paratroops, they're holding down the sideline. It's gonna be Wimp getting the first initial kill down on the Binks, and Wimp's with the second. He's making the difference with that ghosted hand. But how much is this going to help is the real question, because the turret, the football, everything's gonna be present. It's gonna be Ezzy being able to take that kill down on the side, leaving Wimp on his lonesome to do a little bit of damage economically. He's able to take off the shield of Edit in this situation with the ghost in hand, but he does get taken out immediately, taking us to a 0-2 scoreline. It's gonna be Paratroops, but CA, this was an eco round for their side, and now moving on forward, here is where the real game change is about to start, because it's the buy rounds for the side of XTZ.
Yeah, this is the buy for XTZ, and if they're able to win this without much damage to their economy, they could start looking to work towards that operator buy for Sai. Now, for Paratroops, they did lose a couple of members in that round, so those couple of members, you see Kuzuri and Binks, they're gonna be upgrading their guns, picking up the Phantom. And I really like this approach, because essentially you put the better weaponry on the players that are gonna be leading the charge, playing the entry role for your team, allowing the rest of the members to push in with the Spectres, where it doesn't really make as much of a difference. So this sort of approach could definitely work out for Paratroops. Now they have the runback ready already in third round. Kuzuri making use of his skills, picking up that ult top really well. Now able to get seaside control for his team. It's going to be Binks on the look. Binks waiting in that angle, finds one, looking for another down here. Binks versus 2. He will be taken down, but Binks bought so much time got so much information for his team, giving away the positioning of both Rexy and Sai. Now all the paratroops with this C long plant are in this C lobby position. They have that alarm board ready to cover their back. They have their sight lines ready to cover the plant. It's just gonna be up to XTZ to try and hold on to the diffuse and pull it off.
They should be able to mainly in this situation, but I may be speaking a bit too soon. It's gonna be Kazuri from the sidelines getting so many kills of his own. Kazuri with a triple kill straight through the smoke. He gets a quadra boot on a Sabi as well. The Phoenix making the difference in this situation. Paratroops with a dominant lead once again, even on the buy round of XTZ. They're cleaning up house and they have guns to work with now as well, even with their inferior weaponry. They're able to win out the round, especially with Biggs going on that lurk and getting that kill down onto Hirsch. Made sure that no one was going to be able to contest down here from the side of C Long, mainly because you want that flash in your favor no matter what. And not having that flash, you cannot take C-Long control, allow Kazuri to just be like, hey boys, I'm just gonna hold mouse 1 and W and I'm gonna kill all of them.
Aggressive. I think I know why Kazuri is so damn good on the Phoenix. If I noticed correctly on his camera, he has a hand warmer next to him. His hands are literally on fire.
My God,
maintaining the heat in his gameplay through the hand warmer on that side, perfectly just able to take advantage of the agent he's playing with the person he is to find the perfect
Spike
synergy.
planted.
But now coming back to this round, you see XTZ, they've garnered a huge advantage considering it is their eco, but the retake going to be very difficult considering that they don't have the weapons, so they need to push through. Now Wimp using that turret really well to pick
oh
up
my
one.
God.
Every map picks up a turret kill. What? The sixth man of Paratroops, that turret will help secure the 4-0 round for Paratroops. I mean, damn. What? Every round, every map he gets a turret kill? Like what? How?
The turret is the true MVP of this situation. Honestly, tell me, we love that turret so much. It's gonna be the 6th member for the side of Paratroops. Make sure you sign up that turret, whichever team is gonna be picking it up. But still, moving on to this matchup, we need to break down what exactly happened in this round. Yes, of course, this was an eco round for the side of XTZ, but Paratroops, knowing that this was an eco round, opted to go in for that A push. And when you're opting to go in for that A push, you know for a fact that your opponents are probably going to be playing a lot of the shotgun angles. So you have a lot of the utility to bait it out. You have the Raze, you have the Phoenix, you have the Killjoy, all of the Molly lineups are present. As you stated before, Zay is one of those players that we know and love to have a lot of lineups when it comes to his maps, and he was able to use those lineups down to perfection, clearing out Cubby, allowing Kazuri to only worry about one singular angle in a lot of those situations, and then just rushing down into a side, being able to take control, get that plant, and get that spike off, and get all of the kills, taking us to a 0-4 scoreline. But on this round, it seems as though Hirsch, he's gonna answer with his own calling. He gets the first initial kill, and the lockdown is gonna be ready as well, coming out from the side of the wing.
Now, the side control being taken, the lockdown, as you said, ready. XTZ push on the retake. But the second run it back for Kazuri in this map so far. 5th round, he's already pulled off 2. Gonna delay that retake for as long as possible. But XTZ, they're able to take the side control. Kazuri does get detained, and XTZ, they have a lot of time. The plant not entirely open, so a difficult situation for all of Paratroops to hold it down. It's gonna be Zayd picking up a couple though. Now Rexy and Sai pushing through, taking them down, so easy last man standing. He won't be able to do much. Wimp with the kill, and XTZ with the fighting push back, making sure to not give up this round, because not only was this their buy round, this was the round that Sai had picked up the operator. So losing this round would hurt severely on their economy. They're able to make sure that they keep their economy in check, just stabilize the flow of that cash, and push Paratroops back a step, not give them too much momentum in their favor, keep them in check. Now, for me, I think what I want to see now from Paratroops is how do you just upset this entire flow? How do you specifically take down Sai on their operator? Because whenever you leave Sai on their operator unchecked, he's continuously able to find the first bloods and tilt the entire round in his team's favor.
Now, that question I would say would be lying on a lot on Kazuri, because having those flashes in his favor is going to be the main issue that Sai will have. But Sai is one of those players that even if he gets flashed, he gets a lot of the kills, mainly because of how good his timings are. But moving on to this round, you need to look at Hirsch, because Hirsch has such an aggressive position, moving out. And he's going to be able to get 2 kills with such an aggressive positioning. She's making the difference down here from the side of A long. Ladies and gentlemen, with him chiming in from the sidelines down on a B. He gets 1 kill on the bigs, and she has the spike in his control. It's going to be Zayd being able to take him out, but it's going to be tall order. As Sai comes in with the operator to take down Edit, leaving Zayd on his lonesome to go down in this 1 versus 4, especially with the operator in hand. Zayd, he goes in for the wide swing, causing Sai to miss the shot. Good movement coming out from him, but Sammy's going to be coming in from the back lane with the spray of his own. Gets that kill on the Zayd, taking him out, and it's going to be a comeback coming out from the side of XTZ, taking us to a 2-4 score.
Huge round for XTZ Esports, now able to win another round, really start hurting the economy from the side of Paratroops. In this next round, Paratroops, they're gonna have to go for the buys altogether, with maybe a couple of light shields coming through, meaning this is the last full buy round they get if they do lose this round. Also, winning the round, getting all the kills in their favor for XTZ means that the ultimates are starting to come online on their favor. You see the Empress ready for Harsh, the From the Shadows ready for Sami, and these ults are the ones to keep your eye on until the round's favor in your advantage. Now for the side of Paratroops, that lockdown is ready, and expect them to use that lockdown to push forward in this round. They're going for a classic C-long push, try to get that long slant and then play on the basis of that. You can see already Zayd with the spike. He's going to be one going for the plant. The rest of the Paratroops taking up the post-plant position, waiting in the long angles. Spam going through for XTZ, and you think things would have been able to find the kill, but not able to get the trigger on time, meaning Harsh with the first blood, and now XTZ with the control able to push into side. Paratroops putting all of their bets in one basket, trying to hold it down from the long angle.
It's gonna be a dangerous thing that they're trying to pull off, but it's gonna be ended down with the Hunter's Fury, especially with the lockdown being present as well. They get up going for the first and utility uses it just so good! Coming up from the side of Paratroops, and the damage has already been done, and they have such a forward position. Rexy, he's holding down the sideline. It's gonna be Rexy making the difference, especially with Sai holding down the sidelines, but it's gonna be ended. Trying to go in for the plays, he needs to get this kill. He's not gonna be able to hit that shot in time. Sai, with the last second heroics, is able to come out on top, but that was too close. XTZ, they pull out a miracle, and they pull out a miracle out of absolutely nowhere at this point.
God, last minute, if Eric had peaked a second earlier, that round would have gone in their favor. But let's break this entire thing down. You see, all of Paratroops choosing to go long down to the C lobby area, playing the C long angle, putting all of their eggs in one basket. It works out pretty well at the start. Eric pulling out the Hunter's Fury early, I thought that was a bad move, but he pulls only one charge, waits to get through the other two, meaning that when all of XTZ push into that C-long area, he's able to pick up a couple kills, and then picking up Rexy as well in that 1v1. Sai with the nerves of steel, pulling through to defuse and dashing out in time, meaning that not only does he get the round, but saves his life as well. Now for Paratroops, they're going to try to pull it back, go once again for an aggressive 5-man stack, and this is what has me a little concerned, because going for a 5-man push again and again on Haven does start hurting your odds a little bit, because it really does play into the hands of the defenders, but they don't have to look for those multiple angles. Talking about playing into the hands of defenders, you walk into that offside line of Sai, you're going down. It's a 2-man advantage for XTZ. Paratroops got unaware.
Really wanted to see this coming out from the side of Sai and Whip, and they seem to be the dynamic duo in a lot of these situations. Even if Sai gets a kill, he can just back on out with Whip taking the immediate swing on to get a refrag. But it's gonna be Kazuri coming out from the sidelines, being able to get that kill on the Rexy, but Sami answers back once again. And as you stated, CA, on the map of Haven, you cannot afford to go in for a lot of these 5-man rushes, and here's where you're gonna be hurting. Especially now, in this case, Edit, he does have the spike, so there is still a chance that he can come out on top in this game and down in this 1 versus 3. He's opting to go in for a long fight, throws out the recon ball to see if there's anyone near from the side of Garage, but it's only now that the side of XTZ, they're walking on in. But this kill is going to be super important coming out from the side of Edit. A lot of information has already been given away because of the turret being present, but Edit, he's making the difference. He's getting the kills, but he's not going to be able to find a spray down on the Sami to take him out. The Vandal spray just is a little bit too hard to control at those longer ranges compared to the Phantom. He gets taken out immediately, and it's going to be XTZ making it even Stevens on the scoreboard, once again taking us to a 4-4 scoreline.
Wow, that Edit almost pulled it through. He got a lineup and was able to get the shots through, but not able to find the kills because it were body shots at the end, meaning that XTZ instead ended up finding the round. And it's as we said, like you really cannot afford to five-man stack on Haven because it plays into the hands of the defenders in the fact that they don't have to worry about the size of the map entirely. Just we need to worry about winning the gunfights and playing in that way. Not only does it play into the hands of the defenders generally, but plays into the hands of a team like XTZ who want you to take their gunfights with them, who excel in those individual gunfights. So Paratroops, they need to go back to that utility-based approach, which was able to find them the dominant win in map 1. Try their best to pull off the flushing out the angles, finding the pockets of control across the map, and then using that to push in. But look at this. It's Wimp with the aggressive push. You cannot afford to do that as a Killjoy. All the Sentinels utility down with Wimp going down, meaning an easy B-side push for XTZ, for Paratroops. They're able to get the plant, and now XTZ stuck on the retake. You'll see a B-side plant coming through. The Nanostorm grenade setup as well. But I'm going to look at Kuzuri and brings both of these duelists playing in the side to try and delay as long as possible, allow their core teammates to then play for
He has such a beautiful position of his own to work with, uses the running back to see if he can get a little bit of life to work with, but it's going to be such a hard thing to hit the daggers, and the daggers missing in that situation is going to be the detrimental factor. Kuzuri with a double kill, coming out massive on his own situation. That round could have gone south real quick if Sai was able to get those kills down on the Kazuri, but him with the double kill, and of course, Zayd coming in from the back. The dynamic duo of Zayd and Kazuri still holding strong. They're able to close out that round. That was super close though. Paratroops, they nearly could have lost that.
It really did come down to this moment. We're gonna see here. Kuzuri's like, you know what? My ult animation does not allow me to equip a gun immediately, but I can move. So I'm gonna move out of the way, even though he's blinded. He's able to dodge those knives in the right time. Sai not landing those meant that Kuzuri holding that position for so long, allowing the rest of his teammates to push through from that B window angle, pick up the rest of the kills, and secure the round for Paratroops. Just when you think the comeback was on for XTZ, Paratroops like, no, take back the lead in their favor and push back, trying to establish a dominant advantage. Now, they're going to go for this B-side execute again. They're like, it worked once, why change what worked? Using that firewall to separate the sides altogether. It's Kuzuri on the entry frag. I really like the usage of the firewall. Very proactive. Now, doesn't give away any information of his positioning. Gonna try to take down Rexy on the Hunter's Fury and gonna do just that. One kill for Kuzuri, looking for more. Will get taken down by Sami though. Now, the lockdown for both of the teams coming through, they will negate each other and end up working for Paratroops more than XTZ, because more time delayed, the better for Paratroops. Now, all of Paratroops, they've grouped up onto this window side, so Ninja Diffuse definitely on the cards. It's going to be Vim going for that, but now the Paranoia coming out. They're holding on to the Molly for so long, but the Molly does get taken down as Recon revealing all their positions. The Paratroops pushing in aggressively. Elf with one and Easy with another. The crossfire set up for each other. They'll take down Sai as well, and what a chaotic round. But chaos is the name of the game for Paratroops.
Last player standing.
Paratroops are one of those teams, you can see the smiles on their faces. They are going to be laughing it off. That was super close. He had the alarm bot in hand, and Hurst nearly got that kill, but Ezzy was there to back up his teammate to make sure that he was not going to die. But the utility usage coming out so well. None of the members were wasting a lot of their bullets. You can see in a lot of these situations that they just shot a couple of rounds because this plant position is so secure. There are only two ways, sorry, that you can go in for the defuse. You can either go on the right side or on the left, and you can see in a lot of these situations that Zayd was spamming on the left, Eddie was spamming on the right. This made sure that there were no angles to be covered, and of course Edit, when he had that recon mode in hand, knew for a fact that he can go in for a check. There's gonna be an army coming on down from the side of C-Long, but Resky and Hurt, they're making the damage, they're dealing what they can, but Space with a double kill with a showstopper coming out from the sidelines. It's gonna be Edit coming out with his own headshot, and the rounds are so hectic, CA. That ending so quick, coming out from the usage of the utility from the side of Paratroops.
Wonder, right? Like, for me, every single round we've seen, with the exception of the first round where Kuzuri went for the flank, besides that round, every single round that we've seen Paratroops play very, like, straightforwardly. They go for a specific side push because they understand that they're very strong with the approach. They go for that side push. They're able to take control. And I do wonder if XTZ is not even why XTZ is not adapting to this, because what I would have liked to see is more of a gamble. You can try to 3-stack a particular side, go on that A side entirely or that C side entirely, then play for the retake on the other and use that factor to completely play mind games with Paratroops, force them to reevaluate their strength. But Binks, what is that game sense? Smoke Criminal. Binks picks up the first kill for Paratroops. It's gonna be a B-side execute once again. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot run standard setups against a team that is so skilled at dismantling those setups. Paratroops taking control of B. They defy all the odds. They're like, B-side is the easiest to retake. Don't worry, we'll show you why B-side is the easiest to hold.
It's gonna be such a good hold coming up from the side of Kazuri. Once again, Biggs, he gets a triple kill to his name, and Kazuri, he's playing the mind games on Hirsch. Goes in, spots on the shoulder of Kazuri, and it's gonna be a 1 versus 2 situation. But Biggs, he has his own nade available. They're not gonna be able to go in for an infuse just yet. Hirsch, he needs to buy this time. But with the nade being present, he's wasting so much of it. And Zayn comes in from the sidelines to clean it all up. The post plan so clean. Kazuri holding down the fort from the back of B. Made sure that the defense needs to worry about the frontal side. They need to worry about the vertical gameplay that could come out from the side of Binks. And Binks was playing absolute mind games with all of them. Binks, first of all, wraps around, goes inside of B, takes aggressive control of A-Link, gets 1 kill, backs off, goes back down to B-Link, C-Link, sorry. Goes back down to C-Link and then gets another kill there and then backs off down into window, getting the return kill coming out from the side of Garage, allowing Kazuri to just be like, hey guys, I'm gonna be chilling down on the back of CT, back of B, sorry, and cause a lot of, just be a thorn in their side. As soon as Binks runs away, they're all trying to get that kill onto Binks, allowing Kazuri to get those insustaining double frags before he gets taken out himself.
Paratroops, you thought XTZ would have pulled it back. They went from 4-0 to then 4-4, but from 4-4, it's a 4-round win streak for Paratroops. It's 4s all around. So making it now an 8-4 scoreline in the favor of Paratroops. XTZ, they need this pistol round. Against everything, you lose this pistol round, you basically hand over double digits to Paratroops. So XTZ, they need to pull this through. But look at Kazuri, he loves lurking in the shadows, and his positioning combined with Easy in the back of the site is gonna get them this 1-for-1. Now all of Paratroops pushing through on the retake. They're like, you wanna take that B side? Show us how to play on the retake. We'll show you how it's done. But Wimp with the Molly grenade able to take one down, and Rexy with another. XTZ holding on strong and doing so really well. Now 2v1 in the favor of XTZ Esports is down to Zayd to pull it off. Just 20 HP left for him. Has his turret ready to go. He's gonna get information of one person is gonna get one nice right click. Zayd looking for the clutch, doesn't have much HP. Zayd versus Sami. It'll be Sami with the frenzy securing it for XTZ Esports. I mean, aggressive. This has gone from a calculated game to a full-on just gladiator brawl. All of their teams, they just like go, 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 and they just go ham on those gunfights. Each player really shining, but it's where you can see for XTZ Esports, maybe the attacking side really bringing out the best in them. They're able to pull off this pistol round, now looking for the next.
This round was so hectic, but we can break it down really well as well. Like, initially we saw this execution coming out from the side of Paratroops, and XTZ, they're opting to go in for the same execute down onto the B side. Normally, I'm the type of person that will say that the B side execute is not really favored whenever you're playing on your pistol rounds, but it seems that these two teams, they're proving me wrong. This B side execute is just so potent when it comes to those pistols if you know exactly how to play it. If you can play your sightlines, especially with the frenzies being present, you can have that automatic weapon in your favor to go in for the spams, and when you can control the frenzy recoil that well, they can opt to go in for these B executes. But at the same time, you need to give it to the side of the defense because of the way they were able to handle it, even with the fast rush coming on through. And Zayd with his turret placement, once again coming out clutch. He's using that turret so well, and this just goes to showcase that how high of a skill ceiling that Killjoy can have. Yes, the skill floor is quite low, but the skill ceiling is really high. Using that turret to as like a body, as like an information tool, and then going in for the peaks, going in for those right click headshots with the classic, he was able to come out on top of a lot of the engagements. And Sami, with his expert positioning, was able to get that one-up advantage. In that situation, if Sami actually played from the side of window or played from the side of crate, he would have been taken out because there is no way that he would have been able to go in for a lot of the plays with the frenzy that he could have at that close range.
Yeah, Asami's positioning definitely really clutch for them to be able to pull off that round. But Zayd, man, the classic right clicks that this guy is able to pull off on point. So I'm just excited for all of the gunplay we're going to see because it really does look like both of the teams, they've just ramped up a notch, really bringing the fire to the map now. In map one, it was much more dominant, but map two, so much closer here. So we'll see if for XTZ Esports, they're able to utilize their favorite side on the attacking to really push back. For now, though, damn, this is turning out to be a really lit series. And if you're enjoying it, hit that like button, show your support, subscribe as well, and check out the links in the description below uh, to get some amazing discounts for yourself. For now, Aggressive, going back to the game, I do want to ask you, like, there is one key difference in composition between both of these teams, which is for Paratroops, now in the defense, as compared to XEZ, they have that raise on Binks. The raise makes it much easier to try and hold down that garage area especially, but the garage area is where the Phoenix ideally likes to play. So for me, I'm wondering, how does Paratroops try and juggle this? How do they try and adapt to XCZ's gameplay? Because right now XCZ, they've seemed to have try and push through the same way Paratroops did, which is this aggressive pushes all the way through, get that spike planted, then play for the post.
I would say that Paratroops should be opting to play a lot more for the retake scenarios because their
Uh-huh.
retake potential is a lot more stronger in comparison to their whole potential. Because with the Wraith being present, you can go in for a lot of those nade plays. Let's say if Binks throws a nade from the side of from the side of A lane on the B side when they're opting to go into A, or he can throw in a nade to deny the plant at the very initial stages, force them to plant in an unfavorable position, or just let go of the site entirely. I want to see Paratroops not fight for the for fight to deny the plant, instead play for the retake scenario, flush out a lot of the angles that the defenders that the attackers can hide in when they're going in for that post plant, and then take those one-up advantage tools that we saw them take on the map of mine. They never really played for the gunfights, and I'm really hoping to see that they carry over the same strategies onto the map of Haven. And we are seeing that coming out in a lot of their rounds, the way that they're able to flush out a lot of the utility, but at the same time, you can see that they're shifting more towards the gunfight flavor strategies that we saw previously coming out from the side of Paratroops. And I do believe that XCZ on that department have a lot more coordination when it comes to just pure on gunfighting brawls.
Yeah, definitely. So Parachutes, we hope that they'll go back to the defensive hold sort of strategy. It's not about giving the site entirely, I'd say. More like, as you said, trying to use the utility you have in your favor, like the hot hands, the grenades, to delay the plant as long as possible, hold the site and try to do some damage, but at the same time, give it up if it's a fast rush, then play for the retake. All about maintaining your health bars and your advantages while taking away the same from your opponents. But what I think is really important to such a strategy, which also plays into what Paratroops like, is the idea of making risky calls. Like the way you can see their setup now, they're expecting a seaside push for a multi-man stack on that seaside. This is the sort of plays I wanted XCZ to make. So I'm curious to see if it does end up working out for Paratroops, because you have to make calls like this and then choose to play on the retake, believing in your team's capability to like just surprise the opponents entirely and grab that round based on that. Now Sai, he able to
Enemy kill.
spot out the shoulder of Kuzuri, pick up one, and through the smoke, pick up another. It's Sai picking up the double kill, and now Harsh following up with another. XTZ in control of this anti-lead.
They have all the control in their favor. Ladies and gentlemen, down in this 5 versus 2, there is not much that I do believe that Zayn and Edit can do to survive this onslaught coming on in. The turret does spot out one, but Ursh with a free fire gets that kill down on the Zayn. But Edit, he's able to get one kill down on the Sami, get a little bit of extra credits in the bank because he opted to buy this gold. But it's going to be Sai coming in from the side of Garage, pulling him up. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be another round on the board for the side of XCZ. But see, you have to remember, this was the eagle round for the side of Paratroops, and now on their gun rounds, especially for the fact that now they have the gun advantage for a lot of their players, I'm looking to see what they're going to be bringing down to the table when it comes to the defensive hold. Will they be opting to take control of the entire map like we would normally expect a team to do when it comes to the map of Haven, or will they be playing it defensively and playing for the retakes instead?
I mean, now the buy round, as you said, it is the most important. But I do see a couple of light shields for the side of XCZ, a Bulldog and a couple of Spectres being carried over. So for XCZ, basically no investment made whatsoever, just in those shields. This is a free round for them. So if they're able to pick it up, I could see Sai picking up that attacking operator too, and that would be the perfect way for them to really push through on this comeback. Now, Paratroops will see aggressive if what we talked about does come into action, because this time they've left Zaid on that Killjoy to hold down the C site and garage area by his lonesome, relying on him to be able to stack this A site now and pushing Binks to play the ceiling garage, ceiling B site area, try and deny the plant as much as possible. Now Kuzuri with the aggressive push down the shells, he'll spot our site, deny his tailwind, and now get the information to his team that, hey, I spotted side leaving the A side area, which means it's likely they're rotating over to C or going for that mid push. You can see Easy having left A now, he is holding down B link, waiting for the sideline down at mid, and he's gonna spot Harsh coming out with his Lear real soon. Harsh pushing in now, it's gonna be
30
XTZ
seconds
for that
left.
B side.
Clearly thread the needle. I do not believe that Izzy was able to spot out one on the rank. He's going to be Tommy with all of his members being able to hold down the side, and the damage is to be done. But Zayd straight to the smoke gets one kill down on the Rexy, but Big B gets tagged down to only 39 HP, and they're all opting to play for the long-handed angle. And how much this long angle is going to be helping them is going to be ended, going in for the swing down on the side, being able to take it out. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a 3 versus 4 retake situation, especially with Edit bumping out the Hunter's Fury to see if he can do a little bit of damage. He knows exactly where Hirsch is going to be at. Goes in for the peek, and it's going to be Kazuri from the silence with Zayd picking up a kill for himself as well. It's going to be 3 versus 1 situation, and Hirsch, he gets spammed through into oblivion from the side of window, and he gets taking us to a 6-9 scoreline. It's going to be the side of Paratroops.
A huge round going in the favor of Paratroops, meaning that they're able to win the bye, keep control of their eco, and push forward with now a 3-round lead in their advantage. For XTZ Esports, though, that was the 3 rounds, so they look towards the next with the investments in their guns to push it through. And you can see the way like Paratroops play, right? They do exactly what we want them to. They play for that retake, but they do it while getting as much damage they can when XTZ going for the side push. That sort of approach, more a utility-focused approach, plays into the hands of Paratroops, able to secure their round. Now we'll see if it does change through in this round. You see, Edit with the recon bolt, he did reveal a bunch of members of XTZ now going to reposition himself into the heaven area, trying to hold down the A side by himself. A B stack for Kuzuri and Easy, meaning Zayd and Brinks holding down that garage area. It's Edit on his lonesome at A, and that's where XTZ, they've set their sights on. XTZ trying to push in. Now the Lear from Harsh will reveal their push, and they go in aggressively, taking side control. Edit, he's not going to reveal himself just yet. Using the drone to try and get as much information as possible. Able to spot out multiple members. And now the Killjoy ultimate coming down for Zayd. It's Kuzuri on the flank, and the rest of Paratroops ready for the retake.
So they're coming in the big. Can get kill down on Zayd, but the kill by Lockdown is going to be able to take too. Kazuri and Ezzy running on in, and they're going to be able to find the bodies down. It's going to be Sai finally taking out Kazuri, but how much can he do in this situation, especially with the spam coming on down? Sami, he's holding down the trigger, but with only 1 bullet left, his twin brother goes in for the swing to take him out. Ezzy coming in from the sidelines. And I do believe that they could not run away because of the side of heaven being completely open.
Yep.
That window being open in that situation meant that Rexy was stuck in the side of graffiti. He could not go anywhere, and I do believe that Hirsch, he used the dismiss a bit too early, could not dodge out the ultimate coming out from the side, could not dodge out the lockdown in that situation, causing this to happen. It seems as though it's easy.
Right here.
Just struggled when it came to the pressure of the lockdown coming out from the side of Zayd.
I mean, I really have to say, when you're going for the aggressive seaside push, there cannot be a single moment where that heaven area is not smoked out,
Revealing
giving
area.
so much time for Binks to pull off that boombot as well as the grenade, really opening that window sight line, as you said, not allowing XTZ to leave the site. They end up getting detained, forced into this long position. The only members who weren't detained, they just end up denied the entire post-plant scenario, not playing in their hands whatsoever. Now XTZ, they're going to be forced onto a semi-buy or Nico situation. I think it is a semi-buy with just Shai playing on his ultimate. He's missed a couple of knives already though. And with no shields to his name, it's XTZ trying to hard commit to A side. But Paratroops, they're already here, and they have positions where they can stay in the site and dodge out that lockdown. It's Edit playing in from the heaven area, now using the shock darts to get a lot of damage done. Edit holding down now with his Drone gonna get a lot of information for his team. The running back gonna be pushed through for Kuzuri, and the synergetic use of these abilities, meaning Kuzuri, the man up front, getting those kills with the help of the information built up by the Sova. They recon bolt down at A long, and they know exactly where they are. Eric will win the battle against his clone, pick one up, and a beautiful
Last player
retake for
standing.
Paratroops will secure that 11th round.
Gonna be able to, if Sai could just pull out a miracle in this situation, but it seems that it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be a flawless round on the board for the side of Paratroops, taking it to a 6-11 scoreline. Again, the dominant fashion of Paratroops coming on in. And CA, we talked about this before, and I was expecting them to go in for a lot of the retake scenarios, and the retakes are just so clean because of all of the utility being present. Kazuri himself with the running back was able to just clear out 3 angles on his own, and especially with the hot hands coming out at the very end, blocking off the push that could come out from the side of short, meant that Ezzy could just take a really easy fight down onto Hirsch, take him out, and then immediately go in for the swing down on the short because someone is gonna try and go in for the refrag. All of this coming into the favor of Paratroops just meant that they had that one-up advantage in their favor. But this time around, it's gonna be Edit going in for the fakes, but knows for a fact that the Sova Rex is gonna be playing down from the side of. He's holding down the silence, and this one fight could be the deciding factor. It's gonna be Kazuri getting the first initial kill down onto Wimp, and with no killjoy, no turret to work with, this round is just gonna get even more harder because the flanks are now open.
Now, XTZ, they've already lost one man. They had to go for the force buys. They don't want to play for overtime. So the economy already hurting. But Paratroops, they're not giving them any room. No mercy from Paratroops. They're closing down from every single angle. It's Kuzuri with the mid push getting one. Now, Sami able to trade it back though, meaning the mid side open. But this is just a bait for them to walk into the hands of Paratroops and Edit, and easy picking up one kill. Sai, last man standing, 1 versus 3. Doesn't know where anyone is, and he's gonna walk into the hands of Binks. Match point for Paratroops.
Out of charges.
XTZ Esports, no
Match
mercy
point.
given whatsoever. Damn, Paratroops, they're being clinical here.
You have to give it to Binks as well to go in for the fake satchel. He opted to throw out the satchel, then he didn't actually jump out on top. He made that sound that he actually went up on top, but he just stayed down on the bottom, creeped in into the smoke, where he knows for a fact that Sai is going to be walking around it. Then immediately he reads Sai's minds, because whenever you hear a satchel come out from a side of a raise, you expect them to go up into the high ground angle, but Binks playing the massive mind game, so they will take that round off the board as well. And Kazuri, ever so consistent when it comes to his aim and when it comes to his playstyle. He's able to get those reads on the opponents, knowing for the fact of how XTZ like to play. They like to establish map control, but how will you establish map control if we're taking map control ourselves? But it seems that the Hunter Fury has been bought from the side of Edit, but the Edit is going to be completely alone, but he's able to take down one with the Hunter's Fury before he goes down himself, with the A side being completely taken over by the side of XTZ.
Now, XTZ, they did get a 1-for-1 trade, able to get the plant in a long plant situation and play for that post plant. But Paratroops, they have the showstopper ready. Binks, he's gonna bring the party to them, take down Hush, clear out the heaven angle, and pull out his gun for another. Binks with the moves, pulls out the triple, and Binks now looking to secure it all. It's Zayd with that final kill. 13-6, the captain really pushing through. Binks on fire, Paratroops 13-3, 13-6, and you can see how jubilant and how happy they are.
You can see them jumping out of their chairs. Binks is laughing and Zayd is like, we did it, boys. We made it happen. And ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Paratroops moving on forward. It's going to be a 2-0 dominant scoreline for their side. First, it was a 3-13, and now it is a 6-13. They are holding down the fort, ladies and gentlemen. And we have to look at the scoreboards this time around. It is going to be Kazuri popping off in this situation with 21 kills, 303 ACS, and Binks falling close behind on 258 on 17 and 12. The duelists carrying the entire weight of the team.
Exactly how it should be, man. We expected Paratroops to go into this map 2 with the exact same composition. They show their comfort, they show their dominance. Only 3 more rounds picked up from XCZ from map 1 to make it 13-6. And Paratroops 2-0. They're gonna move on to the lower bracket, decide with finals, try to make their way into the grand finals. Damn, that was one hell of a series. So let's quickly go to the LG Ultra Gear match highlights. Talk about really how clinical Paratroops were with their setups. very decisive, especially with their approach, continuously able to take advantage of the fact that XTZ were only looking for those gunfights and use the strategy in their advantage to just pull through the entire series, not just this map. So for me, aggressive, we said this in map one as well, like the utility based approach that really was what giving them the lead, and we saw them stray away for it for a little bit towards the start of the second map, but really quickly as soon as XCZ started making the comeback, they're like, no, let's stop taking those gunfights, let's play more for the aggressive style that we're known for, the one we're strong for. Continuously they went for those 5-man stacks, and while I don't think either of us necessarily like 5-man executes on Haven, if it's that clean every single time, I have no issues against it whatsoever. Paratroops on point today, and XCZ just didn't feel like their day. You really expect, generally when we see XCZ, at least one player to step up, but with none of them really having a godlike day, it felt like they just fell really short of Paratroops.
Especially when it comes to the teamwork as well. Normally from the side of the XTZ players, I would expect them to go in for a lot more of the double peaks, will go in for a lot more of the triple peaks. Not really a lot came out from them, and it left something to be desired for, and hopefully XTZ can go back to the drawing board and come back even stronger, because after a lesson like this coming out from the side of Paratroops, the utility-based meta is now a thing. Every team should be picking it up after seeing what kind of a success can be brought if played at the level that Paratroops were able to show. And from it coming out from the side of Paratroops, as you stated before, the 5-man executes. This is something that we don't like, yes, of course, but the utility-based meta, I do believe, is what will enable these 5-man rushes to be extremely possible, because we have seen this in other regions as well. 5-man rushes are a thing, but the utility usage coming out from those kind of regions just allows this rush to be much more potent, much more easier to execute and take control of an entire site, and a lot easier. And the post-plants, man, see, you have to talk about the post plans, because the post plans were just absolutely incredible from the side of Paratroops. So hats off to them as they're going to be moving on to the decider finals.
It's you expect when in any esports team the basic foundation of the game, the ABCs really to be checked off, and that's exactly what Paratroops has today. Very basic foundational gameplay, but doing that in a very synergized fashion, like really focusing on that teamwork aspect to uplift those ABCs to another level altogether. Paratroops, they were phenomenal today, and we'll see if they can continue their vein of form as they try to make their way to the grand finals. Now, Paratroops, they're gonna be we're gonna be seeing them tomorrow in the lower bracket decider. And XCZ, they're done for this tournament, but they'll be back really soon with the next invitational. So I'm sure, as you said, they'll be back stronger. For now, though, this is going to be the end of the series. We have another series coming up at 7 p.m. between Godlike Esports and Global Esports. That's going to be the upper bracket finals and going to be the decider for who ends up facing Paratroops. So make sure you're there by hitting that subscribe button and getting the notifications bell on. Like the stream to show your support, and check out all of our social media down in the description below. Follow the Esports Club for all the funny moments in this tournament, as well as the interesting updates coming out for the next tournament to come. We'll see you really soon with the next series of the LG Ultra Gear TEC Valorant Invitational Tournament.